Calais when Maxi Priest wasn't Maxi Priest, so to speak, in 1987, through Time FM, and various other activities that have gone on that have been undocumented. We've just had somebody else join us whose music has represented in the film, Miss Natural Touch. So I can't remember your name. Pauline from Natural Touch, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Pauline. I was determined to get you in there. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we do have a short amount of time, and if you've got anything, yes, absolutely.
What I want to say in terms of young people, we had some young people dancing in the film, which was a very interesting experience for me, because we got two groups of young people. One, they were students doing dance, and the other were guys who do street dancing. And when we got them together, they found it very strange doing this dance, because young people don't dance in that way nowadays. Everything's from behind, and they can't see who's behind them. And so to have someone, you know, dancing in that way, have them dance that way, it took them a time to acclimatize. And pity none of them are here to kind of talk about that as they did last week. But for me, that was a great thing, that they actually began to understand and to dance, because the dance wasn't just about learning the moves, it was also connecting with another person. And they did a great job, and I was really proud of them. And I hope that that will also give younger people the insight to know that, you know, there's something there that hopefully they can maybe develop on, because it's about how we communicate, and dance is part of communication. And Love Is What really expressed that in a very profound way. So that's something that lives with me, the way that they participated into this film.
Is there a way, Menelik, that you can put that? Did you film the children last week talking about that? Is there a way that you can?
That they said was they did question, they went home and they did their investigation. They asked their parents what was rubbing and how do you do it, and was it okay to do it, and were they allowed to do it on film? So I'm glad you brought that up, Menelik, because it was a really special afternoon last week, and we were very proud to be in what could only be classed as one of the conduits of British film in this country. And there we were in all our splendidness, lit as ever, crawling up in the people place half an hour like we did today, although we had train issues today. Wonderful experience, and I invite you again to just get behind Menelik, get behind the film, get in touch with your family members abroad to ensure that this film is seen internationally. Get in touch with your family members here in the UK and anywhere they are. They don't have to be family, they just have to be friends. Anybody who you feel is an interested party, let them have the links. Promote the work that Tony Fairweather is doing here. Without the support of Tony Fairweather of In Celebration Our Sisters, and also Tony Warner of Black History Walks, we wouldn't be here today. To hire a cinema for the day costs an enormous amount of money for the length of time that we're here. The Tricycle Cinema in Kilburn is £250 an hour. What? An hour, and that's without any of the access areas. So we need to be mindful, if we're going to go forward, we need to unite. So without further ado, I'm going to open the floor, but what I will ask you to do is, when I point to you, please then ask your question. Not like Mr. Evans out there. Anywho, who would like to be first? At the back, very keen and waving. Can you stand so that you can project, please?
I've got a burning question. The film's absolutely fantastic. Well done, Menelik. I just wanted to know, we've been speaking about young people, and you know, in the present climate, the way young people are these days, are you thinking of probably at some future time probably to take this into the schools, colleges, universities? Because, you know, young people need to see this. A lot of them really need to think back about their history, where they're coming from. Are you thinking probably in the future you take this?
Okay, the question was, is Menelik considering taking the film at a future stage into schools and colleges?
I'm sure that will become part of the process. I mean, at this moment, I'm just really concerned with getting into the cinemas so that they can see it also in the cinema experience as well. But certainly, yes, that's all will be part of the process.
Anyone else? Over there waving. Could you stand for me, please, downstairs?
Fantastic film, Menelik. I just want to know, it's 19,000 seems like a lot, but when you divide it by, 100 people donating £200, that's not that much money, right? So have you thought about doing crowd fundraising, Indiegogo, Kickstarter, any of those websites online?
Okay, the question was, has Menelik considered using some of the social networks and social fundraising sites, are they, to raise further funds to complete the film? In as far as it only takes, it's about 20,000 left to raise, 200 each isn't a lot.
Okay, I started this process of fundraising. I did a rough cut of this film at our film festival a year and a half or 2 years ago, where I put it to people that at that point I think I needed about 50k, I think it was, and I said, look, there was 400 people in the cinema that came to see the rough cut. If 200 of those people gave £250, that's 50k. And behind that was really the idea for our community to understand that it doesn't take a lot for us to do things if we can have a collective way of thinking about it. And so last screening that we have a similar leaflet that we've given out to say to people, how can you contribute towards this film? And indicate particular ways that you can do that. And so that's the way that I've been approaching it, and as I'm doing it today, is to go to the community and say, look, this is what we need, how can you contribute? It has been said, if 100 people in here gave £100, that's what, 10k. So you can double that and you can do your maths on that. So it's not really that far removed from us. And so for me, it's about the psychology of us thinking that way, because we're not used to doing that. In America, they do it a little bit more, but we here haven't. We need to kind of open up, not just around this film, but around any things that we want to do in the future. It just takes a few of us, or numbers of us, just contributing small amounts that can take us further. And so to me, I haven't gone online to try to do it that way. I've really gone to the community because this is our story. How much value do we place on it compared to other things that we do in life? This is for our generations. This is a film that will be there for generations to come. So it's really for us to take that responsibility. And so the approach I've made is to go to people and to say, you can invest in the film, you can donate to the film, there's sponsorship opportunities, there are just networking opportunities. All of it doesn't necessarily have to be, physical money, but being part of this process, to me, is important, because I really want to take community people along with me on this journey, as they have been previously.
Can I just add, in being a part of the story of Lovers Rock, is watching Menelik and watching how he works and watching the whole movement towards getting this together. But watching him, now that the piece is concluded and there's a smaller amount of money that we need to raise, Menelik is now on his passion and he's blooming and he's giggling. Menelik never giggles, but he's giggling, and it's so nice to see somebody walk into their vision and bring their vision to fruition. So I want to applaud him on that, and I want to take from that as well. Because, in Nelson Mandela's speech, he says, when we shine, I'm paraphrasing, but when we shine, we give others the opportunity to do the same. So let us all ride on the back of this man's glory and shine, because I am. I've posted this film out to every last person I know, so I'm sorry for the double posting, but hey. Next question, please. Thank you, Mr. Yes.
Yeah, good afternoon. My name is Ray Carlos.
Ray Carlos, sorry. Saxophonist extraordinaire, ladies and gentlemen. Also features in the film. Thank you.
Yeah, I was on the show that provided the backdrop to the film, and you can see fleeting moments of me playing there. I'd just like to say, give my support to Menelik, and also just like to say that there are benefits for Lovers Rock for this. If you can imagine that we all cop up say, a grand each and support Melody Benedict. And I'm sure
you were out of the room, weren't you? Yeah, you were. But you can say it twice.
Then the film will get made, and it will be distributed not just nationally, globally. Now, what do you think that's going to do for reggae music? You know, people all over the world, Timbuktu, are going to find out what we're involved in here.
Thank you.
And I think that will do a lot for a lovers of reggae.
It has, as Sylvia says, it's gone. How did you feel about, sorry, carry on, please do applaud. How did you feel about seeing the Japanese band on the screen? It's a bit mind-boggling, isn't it? Absolutely mind-boggling, especially the young lady, and she's what, 17 probably, there with her eyes closed in the moment. And that's what we did. It's so cool. Mr. Johnson.
Right, I too should like to congratulate Melanie.
This is the Deputy High Commissioner of Barbados.
From the office I work from, I think that we should also try to contact all of the high commissions from the Caribbean, especially. They do have a database, several of the people from the diaspora here in the UK. And so that we can pull more people together to see this film. And also, I have already, prior to watching the film, indicated to Benedict that I shall play a role in working and getting this film into Barbados initially.
I got a trip coming up. You don't want to come? Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Did you actually have a question as well?
I just want to make it obvious.
Thank you very much. High Commissioner Johnson Barbados. We have a question from the balcony. Please project, sir.
Okay, first and foremost, I was there last week, and the way that I've done my thing, rather than just do the word of mouth thing, not only did I come with my sister, I brought my entire family, so that's 10 more people from last week. I did say, as I will say now, that I do a lot of different events, more in fitness. Those of you that, some of you may not know me, my name is Winding Irwin. I'm the UK's first ever gladiator champion.
I have some abs that need working on. Sorry. But seriously,
it's not about me, it's about me championing the Lovers Rock story. So what I'm saying is, I do a lot of what we call weekenders, where we have 600 to 700 people working out and things like that. So, however, whoever, whatever, I'll be spreading the word and letting people know. And as I said, my word is my bond. You know, I saw this, and I'll tell you what, you took me back to places where I was like, wow. just with that alone, and you made two important statements. One, you said you went away and you saw what people were doing with limited budgets or with nothing to produce things. So that has given you a level of inspiration. And I tell you what, with what you've said, in what I do, I will try my very, very best to enlighten people and let them know about, one, the Lovers Rock story, but also the work that you're doing, and I applaud you for that.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, hi there. Hi, Dominic. I wanted to ask you, what's happening with the website? Or can I say, why isn't the website completed?
Website?
Yeah.